Good morning. What am I listening to on my turntable this week? I'm listening to Clifford T Ward, Home Thoughts, and this album was released in 1973, and I heard it some months later. It was being played by an old teaching mate of mine up in the flats in Stranmillis College, Kenny Deans. And Kenny Deans was stepping out with Annie Bammer at that time, and I believe he married Annie, and I think they moved to maybe Ballyclare or Crumlin. Never saw them afterwards, sadly. Good times in Stranmillis College halls of residence, listening to Clifford T Ward, Home Thoughts. Brilliant LP. What can I tell you about this? If you enjoy easy listening rock music, soft rock, you might call this folk rock, you might call it baroque pop, and I would call it sort of classical type rock, sort of an English churchyard type rock. It's quite sophisticated, quite polished, and well presented, and if you are into your poetry, you'll like this. The title Home Thoughts comes from a poem written by Robert Browning, Home Thoughts from Abroad. Your man Clifford T Ward, he's a lyricist as well, he's a poet, and his songs set a scene. They tell a story of teenage angst, young love, personal difficulties encountered, remembrances, and they're tinged with sadness and regret and a touch of melancholy. One of my favourite lines from one of the songs is "Time the magician played a few old tricks on us." And I often quote that to people that I've met up with from the past, and we've all changed, we've all got older, regrettably. But you only have to look in the mirror. Time the magician has played a few old tricks on us. It certainly has with me. Anyway, Clifford T Ward, 1944 through to 2001. He died at the relatively young age of 57. Home Thoughts from Abroad is perhaps his best known album. He released 11 albums in total, and Day and Scullery are probably they were singles tracks, and they did quite well. This album reached number 40 in the UK charts. Could have done an awful lot better for himself, but the problem was he didn't tour. He wasn't into photo calls. He wasn't into appearing on Top of the Pops. He was actually quite reclusive in his response to his pop career, and because of that, people just didn't know him. He didn't get his name out there. He didn't do personal appearances and whatnot. So that was a bit disappointing. He could have reached so many more people. He married, some interesting facts about him. He married whenever he was 17 to his schoolgirl crush, who was 16. And, young marriages very often fail, but his actually was successful. They had 4 children. And for a time he taught in North Bromsgrove High in the school there, secondary school, and the pupils singing in the background of some of his songs are members of the school. The song "Gay" sold 1 million copies. It reached number 8 in the UK UK singles charts in 1973. His songs have been covered by people like Cliff Richard, Jack Jones, Art Garfunkel, Judy Collins. So he was recognised. Sadly, in 1987, he was diagnosed with MS, and his last album, his last LP, Julia and Other Stories, the story is told that he crawled. He's suffering badly from MS. He crawled on all fours into his home-based recording studio to finish it. He died in 2001 from contracting pneumonia, and there you go. I commend this LP to you. You know, I love all of the tracks. They're all got something special. I like the Traveller in particular. I like Time the Musician. Home Thoughts From Abroad, obviously, and the Open University, where he's contesting for the love of a girlfriend against her desire to better herself in the Open University. Some family photographs. And there's the list of folks involved with the LP. So, Clifford T Ward. And there he is on one of his rare appearances on TV. Excellent. Maybe you'll look him up and give him a whirl on YouTube. Yeah, I think he's well worth listening to. All the best wherever you are. Hope you're okay in this present climate of uncertainty.